Hey guys, this is Chandler coming to you from the Marshall and Southern. I had some requests to do some layout tours of my G, N, and HO layouts. So stay tuned because I'm going to take you on a tour of each layout and hope you enjoy. And just a little background about the HO layout. Some people wonder why it's at a different location than my N and G scale layout, why I don't really feature a lot of HO. And the reason is because when me and my wife bought our house that we have now, it didn't have enough room to move my whole HO scale collection, which you'll see here in a moment about how much HO stuff I have. I've been collecting HO since I was about 3 years old, so I think I do the most in HO, and I'm 30 now, so it's a 27-year collection and counting going on from HO collection. And this layout was already up, so we just decided to leave it at my dad's. And so we come here at my dad's every so often and run HO. That way I'm able to keep this layout. And I don't have to tear it down and I have to put all my stuff in storage because I don't have enough room at my house to do an HO layout, considering I've already got an N-scale layout and G outside. So it's nice to be able to still leave the layout here and be able to still run HO on layout instead of having to put it up in storage, if that would be what would happen if it come to my house. But the plan is, I'm not really sure what the plan is yet. That's why the scenery, you'll notice here in a few moments, the scenery is kind of broken up on the layout. And it's not like finished, and some places, look okay and some don't. And the reason is because I didn't want to get heavy in the scenery on this layout if I knew I was going to be moving it soon. I don't know. I hadn't figured out what I'm going to do. I hadn't figured out if I'm going to tear it all down and move it here soon, or if I just want to leave it here for a little while longer and then get back in the scenery. So I hadn't really made my mind up. So for the time being, we just run trains pretty much on the table, with some areas having scenery and some don't. Just is what it is, and it's been that way for several years now, so it may stay that way for a little while longer, may get into scenery, don't know. But yeah, we just enjoy it for what it is. So this is the start of the HO layout. This is where the steps come in, where the room begins. I don't have any names of towns or anything yet. Once I get, like I said, bigger into scenery and actually start designing some things, I'll figure it out. But right here is the beginning of the yard. It is a 5-track yard with a pass track on the back that goes to the engine shop. So this is main 2, main 1, and then we have yard track 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then technically 6, which is what we call the pass track on the back. I normally keep it open. That way it gives a route to go around the yard if you need to, or to get to the engine shops, which is right here. So there's the engine shops right now. Eventually, if the layout stays, this whole back area over here will be the big engine facility. It'll service diesel and steam locomotives. Thinking about putting a roundhouse maybe with a turntable. Haven't made my mind up on that yet, but this will be where the new engine facility will go. And then, like I said, it'll do diesel and steam. And before we go on anymore, I'll show you this here. So this is pretty much my whole HO collection under the layout here. I've still got some stuff over in my old room at the house, but it's mainly a lot of older stuff I don't mess with. But see if I can get you down right here. So starting on this end, I really need to organize again because I've actually acquired some more stuff in HO since I've reorganized this. So I'm kind of got stuff scattered. But starting on the left here is diesels and steam. So I keep all my locomotives on the far end. And then about right behind this board right here, it breaks up and then it goes to freight cars. So it's box cars, tank cars, coal cars, all that stuff like that. And I always make sure my labels are facing out. So that way it's a lot easier to find what you're looking for. See if I can get you in here a little bit more and see it. And then when we get down here, it splits up to passenger cars, about somewhere right in here. I do passenger cars, so then I've got this section over here that has just passenger cars in this area. And then there's some cabooses mixed in too. I think like right in there, yep. So that little aisle up and down through there is all cabooses. And then toward the end, I have intermodal stuff. And them shoe boxes there, I keep a lot of my intermodal containers. And then my unit boxes, which has like sets of cars, like coal cars, tank cars, chip cars, is through there. And then I've got this area that I need to start expanding to. May try to work on that some coming up here soon and try to expand. New inventory that's coming in and boxes down there to go. But yeah, that's the storage under the layout. So we stand back up here. You can see the yard and the engine facility. Comes around a curve. And what I'm thinking about doing too when I, like I said, get my engine facility going and expand my yard, I'm actually going to get this switch here that goes to yard track 1. And it'll be like a lead. It'll actually come around the yard and then it'll actually hit the main line about where that caboose is right there. So that way it'll be easier to yard longer trains and it'll give a little bit more storage space too. Just kind of like a little bit more, you know, realistic operation as well. Let's see here. Like I said, we got a bunch of trains in the yard right now, and I got cars scattered everywhere. I've still got to sort this out and clean this up for Saturday. Then we come along the back stretch over here. And we got this tunnel that was actually cut up from an O-scale tunnel. So got some detail and some work to do on that. But there's the tunnel. Comes around this other curve to the back stretch of the layout. And there's actually, it's kind of hard to tell it on camera, but there's actually, when you run trains, actually a slight incline going up that way. So don't really have a problem running trains unless we run like a, now if we were like run this heavy coal train here, I believe that's 42 cars. If it was going up the hill, we would have to have probably a push or a middle train engine, depending on how many engines on the front. And I got this facility right here. I hadn't got it hooked up yet, but when it's, like I said, once we get into scenery a little bit more, this will actually be where an industry is worked right in here. And then we kind of come to where we got a little bit of scenery going on. Got some houses that's kind of scattered up. And it comes across the way here to the door. It goes to the back deck. And this bridge here was actually custom built by my dad. He's a welder fabricator, so was always able to make me neat stuff growing up. So that's this custom bridge here that he did for me. Then coming around to the operating station, this is where you notice I take a lot of my pictures and videos of the HO layout because this is like the most detailed area on the layout. So we got our remotes and stuff here. I use a NC power cab. And then I have a MRC Tech 6. And the reason I have this is because it will run DCC and DC locomotives. About half of my collection, if not more right now, is still DC powered engines. And I hadn't converted everything to DCC yet, but everything I buy nowadays always has DCC and mainly sound in it. Then we come through the downtown area. Like I said, just excuse the mess. Been working on some stuff here. Then it comes on back down the hill over here. And then it comes back to the curve to where it meets the yard. And it starts all over again. So it's a double track mainline layout. But like I said, once I get some scenery and stuff going, it'll have probably 2 or 3 different industries to work on it. I plan on putting a crossover probably somewhere in here to where you can actually cross over from track to track. But I haven't done that yet, like I said, because I do run a lot of DC engines too, so it makes it kind of difficult doing that. But once everything's converted to DCC, or I know what I'm going to run, then I'll be able to put a crossover and stuff in and get some more realistic operations. But yeah, so this is the HO layout here. And like I said, we keep it over here at my dad's just because there's so much HO stuff and I have not enough room at my house to run it. This way we're actually able to still run trains and stuff and everything don't have to be put up in storage or run on the floor. So now let's go look at the G-scale layout. All right, so now we're out here at my G-scale layout and I'm going to show you a little bit of it. So this is the G-scale garden railroad I have outside. It's not very big. It's 13 by 20 feet. And the reason I didn't build this one very big, I just did a loop of track because G-scale wasn't one of my bigger scales that I modeled growing up. And so about probably a little over a year or so ago, I actually just got back into G-Scale again. And what I did was I pulled out some of my older stuff that I had. I actually had a smaller garden railroad at my dad's house when I was growing up. And that's where I run my G-Scale collection at. But a little over a year ago when I got back in the G-Scale, I pulled out some of my old collection and kept what I wanted and sold the rest of the stuff. And then me and a couple of my friends and family members built this. And so that's when I really got kind of back heavy in the G-Scale again. But yeah, this is just an oval track out here. It's 13 by 20 feet. I've got solar powered lights on it. Got a few plants. Definitely going to work on some more plants this coming spring. It's kind of a trial and error thing, seeing what would grow and what wouldn't grow. Got a pond in the middle. Of course, got the Marshall and Southern logo in the middle there. And I'm actually working on replacing some track. Some of the older straights I had finally just given out. There was no connection left in them even after cleaning and soldering them. So thanks to my friend Chris Dixon, I got some new straights I'm working on putting on. Just got to put some connectors on. But yeah, that's why they're unconnected right now, because I've been battling track issues. But yeah, so this is the G-Scale layout, and this is garden roast. This is, when you see the picture and video, this is where it's coming from. It's right here beside my house, and I'm thinking what I'm going to do, and I know I want to expand since I've acquired a whole lot more G-Scale, and I'm kind of getting into it a little bit more. I'm just not sure what I want to do yet. I'm thinking I'm wanting to do a figure eight, so I'm thinking I'm wanting to probably either come off from this side or that side, and I'm wanting to make it a figure eight to where it goes under itself. It'll still be just one track. You can see some of the solar power lights are starting to come on now. But I know I want it to still remain one track. I think that's why I'm going to go with just a figure eight and just have it kind of go over a bridge and cross over itself and then come back under. But I ain't sure when I'm going to do that yet. I'll probably have a project further on down the road. But for right now, this is the 13 by 20 feet G-Scale layout outside. And all my trains, I don't have them out right now, but all my G-Scale stuff, I keep them in totes, and then I keep them with foam and bubble wrap in between them. So that way I don't have to put engines and cars up in an individual box every time I'm running, because that would be a very long process. But yeah, anytime I'm running G-Scale, I'll get all my totes and stuff out, and then I'll set them out so that way I can quickly and easy pick what I want to run and put it back up. So now let's go take a look at the N-Scale layout. And now, last, I'm going to show you my N-Scale layout. So let's do a tour of it. So this is my N-Scale layout here at my house, and it's probably my favorite out of the three layouts I have, just because it's the most detailed and the most finished, I guess, in a way. All of them is still under construction. I really wish they would have been a little better, so I could have shown you a little bit more, but yeah, all of them's getting some work done in construction right now. So let me know in the comments if y'all want to see an updated layout tour in the future. I may have to do an updated one on all the layouts eventually. But yeah, so this is the N-Scale layout. It is 7 by 10 feet, and it's like a U-shaped layout. If you've been following the page for a while, you'll remember that it started off with just the 4 by 7 table right here. And then I expanded it to where it went on both sides of the room over here. And like I said, it's still work in progress. So I'm actually working. I just put fascia panels up the other weekend. And I'm working on putting curtains around, and I run out of material. So I'm waiting on more material to show up so I can finish doing that. And then there's my kind of crappy looking backdrop. It's just something I threw together really quick just for some pictures and stuff from Hobby Lobby. So I'm probably going to end up changing it. But I kind of like it. But then again, it's very pieced together. But I probably will change it here in the future. But for right now, that's what it is. So we'll start over here. And I don't have names of my towns or scenes on this one yet. I'm still working on doing some scenery stuff, of course. So that's, as you can tell, so that's why I don't actually have names for stuff yet. The only things I have names for, this is definitely Linwood Yard. And the reason is because I actually did used to work for Norfolk Southern for a couple of years as a conductor. And I was based out of Linwood Yard. And my friend Daniel Alexander built this custom locomotive shed that says Linwood Shops on it. So I knew this had to be Linwood Yard. So this is Linwood Yard. It's not very big. It's got a caboose track. It's got 2 engine servicing tracks with the shop. And then it has the ready track, which is the one that these 2 NS SD40-2s are sitting on. That's the ready track. Locomotives that have already been fueled and ready to go out sit on the ready track. These are the 2 yard tracks. This is the main line. These are the 2 yard tracks. And this is the pass track, kind of like on the HO line. So that's the pass track. That'll take you on the back side of the yard and get you to the caboose and the engine shop. As we come around to the back side of the layout, we come to Bay State Milling, which is one of the 3 industries on the layout to work. And these big blobs right here are foam mountains that I'm putting together. I just kind of sprayed them and just kind of crafted them together the other weekend. So I've still got some painting and materials and stuff to add to them to get them looking better. So it's coming around the back side of the layout. And then we come to this industry that I ain't actually built yet, but it's going to be a tank car industry. So this will be a place that does tank cars and stuff. That's where we store and swap out tank cars right here. So you got a freight train sitting here. It's got 2 scale trains, Norfolk Southern C39-8s on it. As we come around to the small part here on the layout here, this is where it gets the narrowest at, right between the 2 sections. This is coming out of Linwood Yard, so it's the same main line, it circles around. And as it comes across back here, it comes to the Y. And that's another thing I really love about this layout is that it has an operable Y. And yes, it actually works. The power actually works through the Cotto track on it. So right here is the main line that keeps circling around. And then we got the crossover. And this is where it meets the second main line, kind of like a branch line. I ain't actually thought of my name for it yet. But when I built this layout, I didn't want it to be double track completely, so I kept the double track that I have for this layout here that was a 4x7, and I kept the double track going around, as you can see. But then when it come over here, I split up into the Y, and this is where it joins the main line that goes all the way around the table. So that's as you can see, it's the same track. And it comes around, that's the Y, so we actually do turn trains and stuff on it. And the west leg of the Y, which is right here, it comes behind the farmhouse, is the part of the second main line or the branch line that circles around. Then it comes through the area that we call the Narrows. And then the third industry is NGK. So we got NGK on the back wall over here, and we do boxcar swapping out over there. And it kind of comes through the town. Got a Southern caboose trackside over here on display. And we got the Taco Bell, the McDonald's. I can get you to see this over here in the Waffle House. And I have a Chili's and a Krispy Kreme so far. So definitely gonna put some more stuff on here. That's just as far as I've got right now. And all my roads and everything are hand painted. So I actually mark off stuff and I hand paint them. And that way it kind of fits the scene and fits the area the way I want it to. So I'm not having to go out and buy roads and cut them and paste them all together and just kind of make what I want to. It's not perfect, but it fits for what I need it to. Then we got the bridge here. And because my dad is a welder and fabricator, like I said in the other, he actually made this box. And what I'm going to do with this box here, as you can tell, the bridge is cut out of the table to make it more realistic. I'm going to get this box. I got it bolted up here sometime. I'm going to put it up under the bridge there. And that will be where I put like a gorge. It's going to be like kind of like crossing like a mountain cut right there. It's not going to be like any water or anything. It's just going to be like a gorge, like a mountain cut. But that would be what goes up under the bridge there. And this is the other yard, the original yard. And this is what I call middle yard, even though it's not really in the middle of the layout, but it kind of is. But this is what we call middle yard. And it is a 4-track yard. And so trains from Linwood, road trains, will bring cars over and then they'll swap them out with a local. And then a local will come out of the middle yard and he'll collect the cars they set off and swap them out, and he'll get ready to service the 3 industries and then get the outbound cars and then put them back together for a road train to pick back up and take back over to Linwood. So we do actually do op sessions on this layout. It is fun when we have, it's not very big, but we do have people that have NC systems that can come and run. I do use NC system for this. And this is a completely DCC layout. Like I said, if you've been following me for a while, then you'll remember when I actually did O-scale for a while. And when I bought this house, I sold my O-scale collection, and that's when I got back into N-scale. I did N-scale previous in my younger years, but didn't do it very long. So then I sold my O-scale and got back in N-scale, which is like one of the best decisions I've ever made. I love N-scale. There's so much variety and so much coming out in N-scale nowadays that wasn't there a while back when I was doing it the first time. So it's really neat, really good decision I made. And so yeah. And I store all my stuff under the layout here. See if I can show it to you. It's very cluttered. Yes, I do have some American Flyer stuff, as you can tell. I keep everything in these car boxes here. I love these foam boxes, kind of like the G-scale. And when I want to run something, I don't have to like individually package a locomotive or car, unbox it every time. I just keep it on these foam boxes, and they're labeled on the sides over here what it is, so then I can pull it out. But run out of space, you can tell. I've got a lot of boxes and stuff, and in these 2 boxes here, I keep all my individual hard cases to my cars and locomotives. And those, I never get rid of them, even though I got these foam boxes to keep them. I always keep those boxes. Never know the value on something, what it may be one day, and just to keep it to pass down to my kids one day, hopefully. Or if I decide I want to sell something, I have all the original boxes. Same with all my scales. I have all the original boxes for HO, G, and N scale. But yeah, I really do. This is probably my favorite layout out of the 3. It's just, I really do enjoy running it. I have a lot of fun with this layout. We do op sessions. There's always something changing, improving on this layout. But yeah, y'all let me know if you want to see an updated layout tour of the 3 layouts soon. I may have to do something else for you guys here soon when they look a little bit better. But figure I'll give y'all some behind-the-scenes raw footage of the layouts and let you see them. Well, thank you guys for coming along on that layout tour to see my N, G, and HO scale layouts. Don't forget to click the link and look at the Facebook page for the Marshall & Southern and the Instagram page. And keep looking for more YouTube videos coming out. Really appreciate all of y'all subscribing and watching. Hit that thumbs up, give a comment, and subscribe if you don't mind. I really do appreciate it. And stay tuned for more videos coming up soon from the Marshall & Southern.